Welcome back. Heritage sites are arguably and physically component of the city's identity. The lived-in architecture, the strategic location, and the uses of these buildings reveal unique stories telling of how our city came to be and can offer predictions of where it might be going. These features add character and beauty to our city, fostering the sense of home and community and serving as a reminder to each of us that our city's history belongs to all of us together. Just as these magnificent buildings have been passed down to us, we must preserve them for future generations. And to know more about the significance of heritage preservation, we are honored to host Alaa Bahnasy, a member of the Egyptian Assembly of Heritage Preservation. Hello, sir, and welcome to Nile Cruise.
Mr. Alaa, it's a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile Cruise. Of course, it's our utmost pleasure to know, of course, a lot of your informative knowledge that you mentioned before the interview. But at the start, I'd like to ask you, would you please tell us about your assembly and its goals, please?
Yes, my assembly is interested very much in preserving the Egyptian legacy, the Egyptian inheritance, whether it's ancient Egyptian or Coptic or Islamic. Everything that were built by Egyptian hands is our legacy, and we are keen to preserve it. We make reports, we make visits, we have lots of very specialized people that make reports. We have, for example, Dr. Mirvat Salib in the Faculty of Engineering, and she makes the technical reports about cracks, about things that need to be prepared. We make conferences. We introduce the Egyptian identity and legacy to the youth and the children. We also prepare for exhibitions and conferences concerning the Egyptian legacy. We are very interested in everything our ancient did.
From your own point of view, how we preserve our heritage and why?
Why? Because it's our heritage. This is what says that we are Egyptians. We were there before God created other peoples. We are advanced. We are our civilized. We have Dr. Khalid Saad, for example, head of prehistory department. This person has proved through carbon-14 that the Egyptian civilization started 75,000 years before Christianity. 75,000, and it's very scientific that he used carbon-14 to determine when this started. So we have lots of scientists, archaeologists, and they help us in doing our conferences, in doing our lectures, to spread the idea of preserving this, that this belongs to us, whether it's Christian or Muslim, it belongs to Egypt, and we have to keep it. We have to reserve it.
How, from your point of view and your perspective, are the greatest achievements the Assembly has implemented till now, and what is the Assembly's future plan from your own point of view or from the Assembly's?
All over here. Let's talk about what we did. For example, there was a battle straw in Al-Azhar Street that was covering Obbit al-Ghuri from site. We made our complaints and we stopped it. It's a very important archaeology. It's a very important monument, or let's talk, I don't know what's it.
Street and Alaa.
It's to the right of the Al-Azhar Street going up, and it's very important. It's from the Mamalik era, and it's in the street. So any tourist walking up in this street, just see it, just watch it. And the Badal straw was to cover it from being seen.
Is it a house, sir?
No, it's part of a mosque.
Of a mosque.
Part of a mosque, yes, but it's on the ground, not above it. And we have participated in preparing, it's going on now, St. Helena Church in Jabal al-Tir in Mini. And they are changing it into a very touristic area now. It's been, they're working about 3 or 4 years now, thanks to our reports. This church was from the beginning of the 4th century, 324, in the year 324, and it's very old church, and it's 160 meters above sea level, and the view is there. There is a cave for Virgin Mary in her trip. She stayed there with Jesus for 3 days. You have, it's my advice, please, to visit this place and get into this cave. When you get out, you will be somebody else, I assure you.
Sir, full of monumental and archaeological sites everywhere, almost in Egypt. How should the state deal with these important sites? How should the state deal with these important sites?
Well, they have to keep these monuments away from people who love to write their names. Ahmed loves Huda. It's not fair. We have to repaint them and put them in a very best, as if they were our grandfathers built it. It's, you know, the Kibash Road in Al-Aqsa, yes, they removed the a mosque.
It was just what President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, of course, inaugurated a month ago or less than a year.
Yes, yes, and it is a very big festival.
King's Avenue, yeah, and it was amazing in Luxor, yeah.
It's very amazing, and I was there about 6 or 7 years ago when they first discovered this place and started to extract the whole.
Yes, but from here it's worth to mention that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is working on a very different level when it comes to archaeological sites, when it comes to museums, when it comes to anything that's related to tourism and antiquities. Here in Egypt, he moves it to a higher level, and we inaugurate it and we renovate it, or Egyptians renovate it and make it glowing and amazing, like of course the Namek, like the Sphinx Avenue that was just inaugurated, and of course the gem that we're awaiting, that is going to be a turning, of course, museum not only in Egypt as Egypt, but as in the entire world, if not only in the Middle East.
Well, President Sisi has two viewpoints. One of them is economically, how many...
And tourism.
Yes. And it's very wide view. I want to get income to my country using the legacy of our ancient Egyptians. So I have to present them in the utmost way of presenting them. This is a good idea, and this is a future idea. He builds now for the future. We've been for a long time forgetting this. So,
sir, schools are organizing trips for the students to go to visit of course, the tourist sites and the archaeological sites to learn more about their country. How do you believe that these trips shape the awareness of the younger generation?
well, by using Egyptian guides, by giving them information, right information about what they see. For children, it's a new place. Wow, it's pyramids, it's a temple, you know. But how can we tell them the truth about the Egyptians? You've been to old temples. It's very dark, right? You've been to tombs, Egyptian tombs, and it's very dark. Unless we put electricity, we wouldn't have seen any of the paintings or the writings inside. Have you ever noticed a trace of smoke on the ceiling of these temples? No. This means that our old Egyptians discovered electricity, right? All these paintings with these beautiful colors and no smoke, no flames. They use no flames, so they have discovered electricity, some sort of electricity, and they used it. How can I tell this to the children? This is the information that they have. This is the tip that will grasp his admiration to this temple or to this area or place he visited. You know, we have to read our
History?
in Egyptian, by Egyptian eyes, not depend only on the others or foreigners who wrote it, affected by the new civilizations, Romanian and the Greek, where they had gods for everything. We don't have it. We have one God, and all people use the name until today. It's God, Amen. You say it Amun, say it Amen. It's Amen. Muslims say Amin. Christians say Amin. Foreigners say Amin. God kept his name all over all our tongues without taking care of it. So be proud of being Egyptian.
Any museum, especially dynamic, that we know that there were many activities that take place in dynamic, especially, would encourage youth to know more about their heritage and their country and their civilization?
Of course, because we are gathering every era together. So the person who is going to visit it will know the sequence of our civilization, who was the first king, who was the second, how did they, and with a small piece of paper, just an information saying what he did.
Your part and role in preserving the heritage, of course, by your thoughts.
Well, as an Egyptian person or as a member of this society, both of them. Okay, we pay visits to different areas where our monuments, where our old legacy is there, and we write reports about things that wants to be repaired just before it falls. Exactly like we did at the Santa Helena's church and others, of course, just to keep it. Maybe the authorities have no time to go to this area at Jabal al-Tir, Armenia, but we have to go. We have the time to go, we have to visit it, and we have to write reports, actual reports about the situation or the case. This legacy is about to fall, about to be cracked, so please, we help them. We are their eyes. We have to tell people how to manage and which
Okay, sir, how do you
monument or
reconcile
which,
the need to make treasures available
should be
to the
made
public
first?
with the fact that the Baron and Pam Palace, the importance of this very important palace, which holds a very distinctive location here in Egypt, very close to the, of course, to the international airport in Egypt, in Cairo, not in Egypt, in the middle of Heliopolis. Of course, many of the tourists pass through, but not much know about the palace. So could you tell us more about the palace, sir? Why isn't it put? Why isn't it put, and why shouldn't it be put as soon as possible? Since it was inaugurated in 2020 by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. And of course, inside we know that it's turned everything that's discussing Heliopolis and what's going around in Masr al-Jadida. This is the main theme of the palace inside.
Tourism companies have lists and they aim at profits. So their lists reflect the interest of others, of the outsiders, our foreigners, our visitors. They don't know about this.
How should we let them know about this?
On the internet, the government uses its authorities to put things like this and to announce that we have made a Nubian museum, a Malawi museum, Upper Egypt museums. We have lots of museums, and discuss it with the tourism companies that you have to prepare visits for foreigners. They don't know what we have. They know we have.
I think soon things, new things and new sites and new archaeological areas after renovation will be included, of course, in the list. Mr. Alaa Bahnasy. Mr. Alaa Bahnasy, a member of the Egyptian Assembly for Heritage Preservation. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Mr. Alaa Bahnasy, a member of the Egyptian Assembly for Heritage Preservation, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of Nile Cruise. Thank you so much for adding, of course, value to our episodes. And we thank you so much for joining us. Dear viewers, you're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV. Stay tuned. I'm with my colleague Dina Mamdouh today. Don't go away. We'll be right back.